Hello, welcome back to Business Intelligence Channel for part one of our Tableau training series. I'm Nisar, and today we'll get started by focusing in on connecting to data and understanding the importance of relationships. So what is this dashboard that we'll be building together? So this is a Superstore dashboard that I developed, and I'd like you to follow along with me and build together. This is the best way that you would learn is hands-on through training and guidance from me. And this is something that you could actually add to your own Tableau public portfolio for yourself. So let's take a sneak peek into the dashboard. Here you see a very simple design, a variety of visuals, filterable and interactive. The link to this dashboard will be included in the description below, so you have the ability here to see it for yourself, even download it if you want to jump ahead and take a look at the dashboard. But ultimately, this is what we will build together. Make sure that you have Tableau Public Desktop installed. It's free and it's incredibly useful for learning. It gives you most, if not everything, that you'll need to learn in Tableau. The only downside is you may not have as many data connections, especially when it comes to databases. The link you'll need to go to is right here. I will include this in the description below. Click on Download Tableau Public. Fill in your information. If you have signed up, fill it up here. If you have a sign up for Tableau Public, you click on the sign in button. You may also go here and click on sign in. Once we're signed up, downloaded, and have Tableau Desktop Public installed, we'll need to now open it up. The first interface here you'll see is connecting to the data source. You have the ability here to connect to Excel, text files, JSON, Axe, and a few servers as well. Next, we'll need to get started by working with data. I'll be using the Superstore dataset, which is a very common dataset that's used for a lot of Tableau training. The dataset is located here on my GitHub repository. I'll provide the link in the description below. Once here, you'll see a zipped file, Superstore data zip. In order to download it, you just click on it, go to the right, download raw file. This will get downloaded in your download files or wherever it may be defaulted to on your computer. Once downloaded, open the file, and we can explore what we have here. Superstore data, in which we have customers, orders, products, and regions. Opening up the orders, you see a list of all the orders. You can expand the fields to give you a little bit of a preview. Order ID, order date, customer ID, product, sales, quantity, so on and so forth. Now going back to Tableau, this is where we need to connect to our CSV file, which is a text file. So we click on text file, go to the location where we have it saved, and we start off with our orders file. This will now open up your data pane. It takes a minute to load the data. Now this is where you see the orders file and a preview at the bottom on the fields in your data set. And on the left-hand side, the other files in the same folder, which we may need to connect to. What you need to do here is just take a look and make sure each field has a data type. So this is a text, this is a date, text or string, and then numbers. So we want to ensure that the fields have the right data types. Anything that is numerical or will be used for a calculation would have to be a number. Sales onwards here is a number, but postal code is not a number. Why is that not a number? Because a postal code is not a numerical field which you will use for any type of aggregation or calculation. It is essentially like a text file. It gives you the location of your zip code. And so we can change that here and change it to a string. Same thing for region ID. The region ID will also be a string. It's not a calculated field. And you see a little bit of a preview. It gives you a preview of the data so you can also preview what you have if you need to. Now profit, discount, quantity, and sales are the 4 fields that we will need to keep as a numerical field. Good. Now we're ready to start bringing in the other files. Let's start with customers. Well, there are 2 ways to do this. When you bring this in, you'll see that you can drag it to the right and then bring next to orders. This is the logical relationship. When you click on this you now need to derive the relationship between orders and customers. And so the relationships is derived by a primary key. Primary key in customers is joined to the orders, which is a secondary key. In this case, it is the customer ID. This is the logical layer. You may also do a physical layer. If you're more comfortable and you are familiar with data modeling or SQL and deriving relationships, what's the difference? Logical layer, you don't have to define the type of relationships such as inner join or left join. That will all be derived for you when you're building out the visuals. Tableau is smart enough to know what type of a join to create for you. If you want a single flat file and you know what you're doing, we can then create the physical relationship. So let me delete this and bring it in as a physical relationship. And the way that you can do that is double click on orders, and now it opens up the physical view. Bring in my customers, and what you see here is a little bit different. Now you're defining the type of relationship. Over here, you are doing an inner join. We want to get a left join. We want to bring in all of our orders, and we are joining it on the same fields on customer ID. Let's create the logical relationships. So we're going to bring in the customers on the customer ID, products, the right, and define the relationship on the product ID, and finally the regions. Now you see an error here. The relationship is not defined, so we need to get the region ID equal to region ID. In the region ID is a string, and in regions it's still a number. We do have to change the data type of region ID. We will change this to a string. Now everything is good. So we're ready to start working. Go to sheet 1 to start working. It creates an extract. An extract is a saved with Tableau. It's not connected live to the data source directly, and so you can do whatever you want with the files that are saved on your computer. It will not impact this file because now it is extracted for you to use. First thing you want to do here is look on the left and make sure all the data types are correct. Customers, orders, everything looks good. You got date types, you got strings, numerical values. Products is good as well. Countries is a geographic region. Click on the geographic region, see that it's a country, and you could change it to if it is incorrect. Looks good here, and you've got latitude and longitude as well. Don't forget to drop your questions and thoughts in the comments below. If you're ready, hit the like button, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing so you won't miss any of the Tableau tutorials. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you in the next session where we'll begin exploring worksheets and building our first visualization from the Superstore dashboard.